Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for joining me on the latest episode of iGaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, books on Amazon Kindle, and many more things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, first and foremost, a huge thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who really and truly make this podcast possible. Without your continuous and generous monthly donations, I would not be able to continue making these episodes week in and week out, so big thanks to all of you once again. Everyone else, please check out my Patreon supporters in the description below, and of course check out my Patreon page. Now this is episode 270, so we're really slowly getting to episode 300, but this episode is all about pulling back and getting to a different kind of setup and different kind of position when it comes to one of my ventures that I currently am working on, which are my books on Amazon. There are presently 7 of these that are available through Amazon Kindle that I published in the last 10 years actually. My first book, which is How to Not Become Overweight While Working in the IT Industry, came out. I published it more than 9 years ago. It's going to be exactly 10 years in October this year. So a decade of selling books and writing books and publishing them on Amazon Kindle. And I decided this month, in April actually, to get all of my books out on the market for just 99 cents. So a single dollar for all of my books. Why did I do that? Well, actually because I kind of felt that it was going to be one of those steps that can or has at least the chance of helping the sales, because like I showed in several episodes prior to this one, the latest book I published, which is my first novel, was really selling horribly badly and other books weren't doing that better either. Now there are a bunch of explanations why is that, because after all, presently we're on the brink of a global recession. The previous year was not that great, the year before that either. People are cutting back on their entertainment or infotainment or informational kind of expenditures, and normally, logically, it's to be expected that less people are simply buying any kind of, let's call it, entertainment products or pop culture products. But the kind of slowdown that I saw in especially last 6 months or so was really drastic, so I decided that it's kind of necessary for me to try this. And the good news is that it's pretty much working. I've seen several sales since I did it, which is amazing. Prior to that, I would see several sales in like a period of maybe 2 months or a month and a half. And now things are looking up. I don't want to jinx it, but it's going pretty well. And it's, interestingly enough, one of the reasons why I did it was to kind of diversify my book output in terms of sales, because previously, basically out of my 7 books, maybe 1 or 2 were selling to an extent. One in particular, my best-selling book, which is kind of my take on how to overcome wasting time and how to overcome procrastination. But the rest of them, even though they have solid kind of reviews, well, 1 or 2 doesn't, but the rest have solid reviews, some even better reviews than my best-selling book, are not moving at all. And this movement of the price to its absolute minimum, so you can't set a price that is lower than $1 or 99 cents on Amazon, was kind of my decision to basically leverage my profits in terms of actually the money that I'm getting at the end of the day, and exchange it for exposure, exchange it for more people getting the book, because otherwise all of my books were basically $3 or $2.99, and this is basically 30% or 70% off, so only a 30% margin or a 30% of the original price. The bad news here is that my profits are super slashed through that process, because if I set my price at 99 cents, on each sale I only earn 35 cents, while when my books are $3, I earn $2 on each sale. So I basically need to sell 6 or more books at the price of a single dollar to get as much money as I would if I sold my books for $3 and I sold just a single one. So if I have 3 sales, it's something, if I have 6 sales, it's something in a range of $2 plus or minus. And when I have my old price of $3, which is kind of a standard for most books, so either a $3, $4, or a single dollar, it's a lot more. My royalties are 70%, so out of $3 I get basically $2 or more than that, $2.1. While if you have your book for 99 cents, the royalties are only 35%, so I get on each sale a 35-cent return, which is really, really small. But still, like I said, if there's no sales, it makes no difference what your kind of profit margin is, because you're not going to get any money either way. So I decided to kind of go for that, and hopefully the trend that I'm seeing now, which is pretty cool, I'm seeing both sales and camp reads. Those are like people reading my books, and I get basically around 1 cent on 2 read pages. That's kind of a broad estimate. I'm seeing both going up, and that's amazing. But like I said, the most important element is that the spread or the diversification of my kind of books that are doing business, quote unquote, is much larger than it was previously. So I'm seeing different books making money, which honestly didn't happen in the last almost a year, right up to the kind of a middle of 2024, when the slowdown in my sales and camp reads really got kind of eventually not mistakable for something that is a trend. At the start, when the kind of the slowdown general came of the end of the, let's say, fall season, somewhere around November, things generally slow down. I was pretty sure that it's kind of seasonal, but then when the Christmas or the holiday season came and stuff didn't move much better, I was certain that this isn't some kind of a short-term thing. It was a more or less permanent feature of the present book market. So I decided I have to do something, and like I said, the cut in sales is drastic. So let me just do some numbers here. If I sell my books on the price of $3, if I have 10 sales, I'm going to earn around, let's say, $25. And in this case, if I sell 10 books, I'm going to earn $3.5. And that's a big difference. It's a huge difference, but still, I'm more than willing to see just sales rolling in. The profits are not that big of a deal to me, because even $25 is not that much, but selling 10 books per month is a big deal, kind of a big tall order, at least for me. I know that other authors who are much more successful than me don't have that problem, but my books are kind of niche books. They're mostly into this process or field that I want to kind of label as something that is an intersection of psychology, pop culture, and technology. And not mentioning my latest book, which is a novel, just a regular alternate fiction novel. And it's not something that is super popular, but at the same time, I don't have that many pages. Most of my books are pretty short. You can read most of them in like 3 hours tops. Again, the latest book is kind of different, but the rest isn't. And hey, if there's no sales, it doesn't matter how much I earn, because it's still zero. But if there are sales, at least something is happening. Things are kind of in motion, and I'm more than willing to take that instead of having no sales on kind of higher profits, but those profits are completely fictional if you don't move any books. So hopefully that movement will take place. There you have it. That's all for this episode. I just wanted to do a short overview of what's happening here and what was my kind of marketing strategy in this case. If you'd like to check out my books, please check out the link in the description below. It's going to take you to my homepage where you can see all of my books. And if you'd kind of consider buying any of these, that would be really awesome, and thanks a lot for doing that. All of them, like I said, are just 99 cents. That's all for this episode. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening. Please check out my Patreon page and my Patreon supporters. Please check out my channel memberships. Please check out again my books on Amazon. And of course, the cheapest, easiest, fastest way to support me, just subscribe and be here for my new videos. That's all from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you in precisely 7 days from now on the new episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. Until then, bye bye.